welcome to another episode of the Engineering Influence podcast from ACEC National. My name is Diana Alexander, and I am the Director of Private Market Resources. Today, I'm here to talk to you about a new series being released online next week on February 21st called Market Briefings Intel for Engineers. So at the end of last year, after our annual convention, when we met in Texas, I contacted some of our members that had expressed interest in getting a little bit more involved with the private markets department at ACEC to create a new series for them. So the Private Market Resources Group is responsible for the market intelligence at ACEC, and this includes anything from market briefs that primarily look at the vertical infrastructure and report on major trends, legislation, and opportunities affecting those markets today. So there's also construction put in place numbers that this department reports out on monthly that shows the picture of total design and construction spending in our industry and work done here in the U.S. There are also AE revenues that are reported quarterly and expert interview podcasts released and presentations for our state members, including economic updates, industry insights, and five-year forecasting. So in our quest for this feedback, we ended up with a really great group of ACEC members, including Melvin Williams of Terracon, Derek Clyburn of ECS, Mark Barushko now of Bowman Consulting, Shaheen Hekmat of Shen Moore and Associates, Rick Zatola of Lyra Consulting Engineers, Michael Cooper of HED, and Allison Hazen of Kaufman Engineers, Inc., and last but not least, Joe Flaxbeard of Lamprey Nearson. And when we met last November, they said, this is what we want from a series. We want a planned program that'll run out throughout the entire year for 2024. We want it held quarterly beginning in February. We want it to focus on growth markets, as the data is shown in research done by our ACEC Research Institute, include a panel of clients, developers, industry experts that can report out on each market and tell us what's what, and then share opportunities, trends, and areas for growth, insider intel, if you will. So based on our industry research alongside with the Institute, we found these four markets that were of highest interest, areas that will experience growth in the next 5 years or extreme change. That would be energy, office, healthcare and life sciences, data centers, and telecommunication. So starting first on February 21st will be the Growing Energy Market Briefing. Through a partner presentation with ACEC's new Energy Committee, participants will hear about trends impacting the energy market, including the necessity of coal, renewable alternatives, power plant development, and the vulnerability of the grid. You'll also hear about the energy transition and how it is impacting vertical buildings and what design engineers need to know today. So the first session will kick off on February 21st. It will run from 1:30 to 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we do intend to record the session. And if you cannot catch it live, you can catch the recording in advance so you can watch whenever you'd like. Speakers in this session include Michelle Bloodworth, President and CEO of America's Power. This is the only national trade association whose sole mission is to advocate at the federal and state local level on behalf of coal-fueled electricity and the coal fleet. Bloodworth represents coal electricity and its supply chain before Congress, state, and federal regulatory agencies and the administration. Justin Valla, the Senior Vice President for Engineering and Construction with Tenaska, a privately held international power development company, is where Justin leads a team responsible for supporting technical functions of energy project development operations and asset management and capital deployment projects. Mr. Valla's team performs those roles with respect to conventional thermal, renewable energy, and other emerging technologies. And finally, Peter McPhee, who is a familiar name, he joined our private symposium in Boston just last year, is the Senior Program Director for Building Decarbonization at the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, or MassCEC. This is an agency focused on fostering the growth of a vibrant clean energy economy in pursuit of the state's 2050 net zero emission obligation. Peter established MassCEC's electrification programs and is currently facilitating the technology, policy, and market solutions necessary to support millions of buildings transitioning from fossil fuels to zero emissions technologies in the coming decade. Each briefing is about 1 hour long, and you'll have about 15 minutes of a presentation from each speaker with 15 minutes left at the end for Q&A. I will say that all three are engineers by trade, so it'll be very interesting to hear this panel next week. The second session will be held on May 1st, which will be titled Adaptive Reuse, What's Next for Office. A lot going on in office right now. The CRE market is definitely struggle, office being one of them, impacted by COVID and teleworking. And so people are looking at new and creative ways to transition these property types into affordable housing, for example, which is seen to be low. So during this session, you'll hear from a panel of clients, developers, and architects on adaptive reuse in the commercial real estate sector. And this will be through a partner presentation with ACEC's coalitions, where you can find out what's next for office, including conversions to affordable housing, like I said, multifamily living spaces, entertainment centers, and even healthcare offices. You'll hear about the design challenges, success stories, and how engineers can bring value to these project types, and when to demo and when to rebuild, because it is a very high financial burden to take on these conversion projects we're hearing. And the third session will be on August 21st on healthcare and life sciences. This has kind of been the recession proof of all the markets and remains top of mind for our design engineers. Here you'll hear from a panel of owners, clients, and industry experts on the trends impacting the healthcare and life science market. This will be alongside ACEC coalitions again, this time CASE and CAMI groups, the structural and MEP engineers. And panelists will cover sectors within the market that are expected to experience the most growth, the surge in mental health, the aging population, and their related facility needs. Also hear about regional locations which are expected to hear the most growth. And then the final session will be on data centers and telecommunications. So here, this will be a panel of experts in collaboration with another great new committee offered here, which is the Technology Committee. And the data center market continues to grow. It's actually one of the markets that is foreseen to carry the commercial real estate sector through the next couple of years. And incentives are actually provided to those who can locate land to build these new centers and hyperscale data centers on. And also with this latest trend of AI, the data center market is only going to experience extreme growth. So there is a reduced pricing that we're offering if you register for all 4 sessions now. We'll include a link to that registration in the show notes. ACEC also just released the latest market brief focused on energy to coincide with the release of this first market briefing. And you could subscribe to ACEC's Market Intelligence to gain access, and they will be sent directly to your inbox so you don't have to go looking for them. You can email me directly at dalexander@acec.org, and we will leave that in the show notes as well. And finally, if you have any feedback on the session or would like to get involved more with the market intelligence that ACEC offers, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'd be happy to talk to you about that further. That's about all the time we have for today. Thank you for another episode of Engineering Influence Podcast. Have a good one.